Anika poo. Yeah.
Just for what days I'm on a time of kings and queens would visit all the islands and saw everything. How would they feel about the changes of our land? Why could you just imagine if they were around and I saw a concrete jungle and highways on sacred ground? How would they feel about the disrespect of ancient lands? Wanna now, tears will come from each other's eyes and they will stop to realize that's how the people are in great big danger now. Whoa, tell me what would they say? How would they feel? Would the smiles be content? Would they cry for the pains that they have seen? Now cry for our God, cry for our people, cry for our lands that was taken away, and then yet you find hope in it. Ooh yeah, mau keo kaiana, kupono ea iua mau keo kaiana, kupono ea iua mau keo kaiana, kupono ea wanna now all of the fighting Kamehameha done to conquer all the islands of his condominiums. How would you feel about the changes of our
Too
land?
much sweets in the morning.
Why could you just imagine if he came back and I saw traffic lights and the railroad tracks?
That was the bounty
How
hunter, right?
would you feel
The
about
kind
the
Bill Bond.
disrespect of ancient lands? Wanna now, tears will come from each other's eyes and they will stop to realize that's how the people are in great danger now. Whoa, tell me what would they say? How would he feel? Would his smiles be content? Would he cry for the pain that he has seen? Now cry for our God, cry for our people, cry for our lands that was taken away, and then yet you find hope in it. Ooh yeah, mau keo kaiana, kupono ea iua 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 mau ea kaaina ikapono mau ea kaaina ikapono. The life of the land perpetuates only in righteousness. Only in righteousness.
Aloha kako. Welcome to another episode of Darkside of Hawaiian Politics 43, Exposing Fraud. Aloha kakayaka, hale o ke ave, maui nui a kama, hale a pi'ilani, hale kakui hewa, hale mano kalani po, ko Hawaii pai aina. Let's go. Today's weather for Moko ke ave is your north is highs 81, lows 72. Your east, your highs is 82, your lows is 71. Your south highs is 83, your lows is 69, and your west tops out at 87, and your lows at 72. Nalu, north side, 122. East is a small 123. Your south is tapping out at 3 to 5. If you're not a professional watersman, stay out of the water. And your west is a occasional 1 to 3. Now for the Lelo No'eau, homework.
Aloha mai kākou, aloha kakahiaka e ko Hawaii pai aina. Thank you again for joining us on another episode. This week, a lot of feelings, a lot of different historical things happening. Of course, most importantly, we touched on it last week, our Queen's birthday, September 2nd, of course. So today's Olelo No'eau of the day is Mai Poina. Yeah, Mai Poina. And when we think of that phrase, Mai Poina means don't forget. Yeah? Mai Poina Oea'u. Don't forget me. Poina Vale is to be forgetful or absent-minded. But Mai Poina, right? Do not forget. Do not forget of all the experiences that our kupuna and our ali'i and our mo'i went through. Do not forget what our aina has been through under an illegal, prolonged military occupation, 127 years. Yeah. Do not forget about the RIMPAC training that just occurred this past weekend, that occurs every 2 years here in our islands. Do not forget about the corruption that continues to plague the fraudulent fake state government. But most importantly, yeah, don't forget Lili'u Kalani. Don't forget how she stood. Don't forget the mo'okuauhau of our ali'i and our kupuna. And that ties us to this aina, right? That ties us to this law and to this power that is bigger than us, much bigger than us. So mahalo nui to Queen Lili'u Kalani. Mai Poina. Yeah, there's a lot of things we can't forget about, especially all of that, counter programming from America and the US corporate entities. Yeah, we got to start forgetting some of the propaganda and start filling our minds and our hearts with the voices, with the mana, and with the oia i'o of our kupuna and of our situation here in the islands. So, Mai Poina.
Mai Poina. Kako. Without any more waiting for the explosion of these corrupt politics, this week, first up on the chopping block. Mahalo to the Ohana out in Mano Kalani Po, and you guys successfully managed to get that cult off of your sacred site and protect your vahipana. For that, that is the solution. When the wahines show up in prayer, in chanting, and in one, great things can happen. Can't say anything much more about that. Homework. It is what it is. Mahalo to the families out in Mano Kalani Po for taking care. Mahalo.
Right, so this cult, right, out in Kauai.
Love has won.
Just the latest bunch of crisis actors, right, that they want to fill the headlines with. But it looks like Aloha has won in this situation. Real Aloha from the community, from the Aloha Aina of that place. Mm-hmm. Their voice came out, and the voice of the people is the voice of God, as Queen Lili'u Kalani says. So they made it known. No cults. We get enough cults over here. Mm-hmm. Time to go home. Ha'alele ke'ia manava. And actually, I saw something where they actually didn't leave Kauai immediately. They bounced. They went out to Maui first. So,
right.
Maui guys.
Halea pi'ilani.
They did leave. They went back to America after that. But, we're going to see more of those guys. So get the broomsticks, get the paddles ready, because we're going to have to send them out.
All right. And so next up, what that's definitely a solution that we have to look forward to whenever there's things that coming out in our community, cults, corruption. We need community input, community
Swift, vigilant, community action.
swift community action.
So there's no confusion, and the government cannot make excuses. But it looked like the community handled it really well. So I gotta throw the law.
It is.
I gotta throw the law in there.
It has to be.
Mike.
Next up, we're going to stick to the platform. And the platform is we have a call out that basically took place out in Manokalani Po. Once again, we're staying out there at our sacred sites.
Corner pocket.
In the corner pockets. The state continues, yes, to allow tourism to overrun our islands and cause mass stress upon the emergency help during this COVID time, which we don't have that much of ER medics on hand. We have a shortage. Right. And when they bring over these tourism and they take them down to Kalalau, they take them down all of these sacred falls, these sacred areas, and lo and behold, they cannot even make it down, let alone make it back up. So there's a lot of people that got hurt, and there's a lot of things that are taking place out there. But once again, mahalo for staying vigilant out there, Manokalani Po, and keeping everybody connected to what's going on. Yeah, how the government just allows these foreigners to run rampant, these invasive species, while we are grounded at home. We can't go to church, we can't pray. You already see the mass harassments to Native Hawaiian business owners, and that's where we have to draw a line. We have to draw a line, and we have to continue to support our outer islands, Manokalani Po, and every island that is dealing with tourism influx during a time of a pandemic. With that being said, Manokalani Po, keep on handling your business.
The green pass.
Mahalo for keeping it solutions and keeping it pono out there and keeping everybody updated.
Right. So what we have is a kahea, right? The ohanas out there are actually sending out a kahea to the community, right? We have to step up. We have to protect this place. Because from what I've gathered, they've already, the state or the county over there has already started to desecrate Pohaku and to start the preliminary stages of building their, a wapo, a bridge that goes across Hanakapi'ai Stream. And, just a little bit about the issue itself. There has been, it is a very dangerous beach, right? The undertow over there, and especially when it floods, like anywhere on the islands, right? Flash floods can occur and sweep things out and make things interesting. But you gotta pay attention to what the locals are saying, right? You cannot go any which way. This is not Waikiki. This is not Ali'i Drive, okay? This is not Lahaina, right? This is a place where it's very secluded, right? So even for the locals, they have to have a lot of home rule and self-management for it to be safe. And so if you're not paying attention to what the locals say, then you shouldn't be making it accessible for the tourists, right? So shut them down. There's been a lot of deaths over there, and it's been mostly people who don't know what they're supposed to be doing. They don't know their kuleana, and they stay mahawaia and ni'ele. So again, let's support the ohanas over there, sending the kahea out to Malama Hanakapi'ai Valley, a very sacred area over there.
Continuing down there, Moku Moku, ohana out there, Barka, Boer, all of those family members out there fighting, holding the front line.
There we go.
This one is for you guys to send that mana'o and that mana out that way, so you guys can continue to be vigilant out in these rural sacred areas. And you guys doing a great job at it.
In the time of couples and all these restrictions, we shouldn't be making it easier for the tourists to trample all over our secret areas and going where they're not supposed to go, right? Like, geez, put the couple on sacred places.
Kanaka Rangers out in Manokalani Po, all the ohanas, continue to pressure. That's the only way you're gonna get results in these issues.
Yep.
Next up,
you got on the block.
On the block,
Who's the new kid on the block? Oh,
has
it's
to
the
be
old business.
our old business, Kako.
Here we go.
Our old business with our
We
old
warming it
partner.
up. We warming it up.
Where
PGV.
is his Kalamayo? Where is my man always, our PVG,
PGV?
PGV.
You got a headshot? You got a headshot of
our
that?
headshot. We don't have the
coconuts
headshot,
out there? Okay.
but the headshot we was looking for today, it has to reflect on Michael Malihini Kalikini. This is the guy that lost the run because he thought he could just go to Ige's house and have daikong. And he thought that he could get the pass, which he did, until Uncle Big Pat and the rest of the local konohikis decided that we wasn't going to allow this geothermal to come and tap into our beneficiary trust funds. And so now that he has lost his job with DHHL, the state is instantly looking to get this bad boy up and running. So Michael Kalikini, your geothermal gig is clearly a violation of a lot of non-disclosures to community and OHA to stand on the side during the Vau Okele episodes, knowing that we do have rights and resources to it. Then why are we paying the highest price for electricity when supposedly geothermal gives a lot or sells a lot to the state? We don't get no fair market value. Our cultural sites are being ramped upon. And now, during a pandemic, these guys want to continue the increase of the extortion. And with that being said, this is my first smash in collusion.
You need some red late on this one.
Kalikini Malihini.
Oh, Kalikini. Okay.
Geothermal. You know a little bit about that. Homework.
Growing up in Puna, it's hard to ignore the effect that it's had on our community, how divisive it has been. But let's not forget, it wasn't just 2 years ago where Tutupele, Aila Ao coming down the Mauna, coming down from Fissure 8, almost took out PGV. Right? It was so close. It was coming right up, creeping right up to the line, right?
Right up to the line.
So, the risk of there being some kind of lava evacuation or disaster or what have you, we saw it in real time. We saw the negligence of the state, Harry Kim folks, unable to move the pentane quick enough, right? What do we do? So, to see now how quickly PGV has gotten back online, which of course is owned by Ormat, an Israeli company.
Israeli and government company.
You got a Hawaiian Kalekini in the head seat, but this is not Hawaiian company.
Yeah.
Right, they're keeping. This is foreign multinational company. We're talking about extracting our resources. And all they've done in the last 30 years is expand. Yeah, they have moved out of Waukele Opuna, but they went right down into the community, and now they have the green light to expand, right? They're doing 38, I think, megawatts or something. And they can double up to, I think, 60 or so, 50 or 60 megawatts. So we're gonna see more action. We're gonna see more night drilling. We're gonna see more narrative building in the media, trying to justify why we need geothermal. And by the way, Kalekini, they tried to put them in DHHL. Why is that? Why they tried to put PGV brother into DHHL this past summer?
Couldn't be about geothermal on Mauna Kea.
You don't think there's geothermal potential on Mauna Kea that these crooks are looking into? Okay.
Isla wouldn't do that.
Well, maybe we gotta save that for the other half of the chopping block.
That's the other half of the chopping block.
Okay.
So now, homework,
Bridge.
give it to them. What you want for the geothermal? We giving them a homework grade. Where we grading them at?
I'm gonna walk through with the tea leaf, just cause I know. Gonna have some lava, gonna have some hot fire coming down right after, because we're gonna have to smash these guys. Get out of Puna, get out of the Hawaiian Islands, and stop the collusion with the fake state.
Stop the fucking collusion with the fake state. For the COVID update, Kohawaii Pai Aina,
COVID break, okay?
COVID break, right? We got the feds we got the feds investigating the Veteran Center in Hilo, Hawaii.
They just working overtime over here, right?
So the Veteran
About
Center in Hilo, Hawaii has reached historical amounts of deaths of historical veterans that have served the American colonization. And they have died without dignity. You guys may have heard him, if you guys live on Moko Keawe, Harry Kim talking about sympathy and sending love out to those who have passed. Well, Kako, it's not good enough for the federal government to hear Harry Kim's plea on the radio every week of how sorry he is, because the government has to step in to see how sorry the Hawaii state government is, how old these dinosaurs are. They don't know how to use technology, and by the time they did, had 10 service members dead. And to me, that is a wrongful death claim that should be met and satisfied for those lost souls during this pandemic. With that being said, federal government solution. When you see people dropping like flies, go ahead and investigate. But I only encourage you guys to not investigate when things get worse. Investigate when the pool of funds is never distributed on time. Homework.
Right. Ooh, all the political theater doing in the middle of the pandemic. It was only a matter of time before somebody got the short end of the stick, and the veterans.
The veterans.
You know, why are the veterans always the ones getting not even the short end? They're getting cracked with the stick.
Maybe this was some of the historical 442nd crew that passed. That's why it sprung this emergency investigation.
You know, well, it could be, right? I mean,
One of the legendaries.
but how are you gonna get millions and millions in contact tracing and have all these funds to support these kinds of demographics, really, right? These are kupuna. You guys think you care about the kupuna? That was what the whole campaign was about, right? Here's the kupuna. They're in a care home, the veterans care home, and you guys can't stop the spread. You guys can't keep our kupuna healthy, our veterans. You know, so I mean, the breaking news yesterday was who was it got just contracted? The lieutenant governor.
Oh,
So not even Dr. Green is safe from the negligence
Not
of
even
the
a-
fake state,
Not even the doctor.
right? So I mean, our kupuna and our keiki are gonna be the most at risk. So we gotta keep smashing on the
smashing.
state for the negligence. Feds keep investigating. There's a lot to investigate. We're gonna need you guys here to the end of the year at least.
Yeah.
You know, we're gonna have to smash the crooks along the way.
Man, we can't, it's so sad to see these things going down, but you know what, Kako? This is what we reported on that caused a mass crisis actor spree
Oh, here
across
we go.
Kova Ipai Aina.
This just went viral the last couple
So
days.
if you
right?
guys, so if you guys are familiar with the Hilo riot that just took place a few days ago, there was a few of us on site, Na'au News now being one of them, and there was a preacher's daughter who gave her testimony. It was quite a scene, Kako. No matter who started the fire, human life should be preserved at the highest. The state is quick to blame contraband, Kako. Contraband meaning the ones that they smuggle in OCCC through the corrections officers for many, many years, feeding our family members while they're trying to rehabilitate. What are they trying to describe when they say it was a contraband that started this riot? Well, Kako, I don't know. I don't claim to know. All I know is the things that our family went through and share with us, and coming to see this officer on the left-hand corner. This is one of the two officers that was shooting paintball guns filled with gas balls directly at the prisoners while they were screaming help and trying to get out. The building is surrounded by cops with guns all over. There's no need to use excessive paintballs at these individuals while the building is burning. So we challenge, Na'au News now challenged the fake narrative that came from a worker, that's a government worker, speaking out about commentating of a film when you see the assault of paintballs with gas being shot at prisoners contained in a burning building.
Right.
I just need to know what federal law gives officers the clearance to shoot at inmates with a gas balls, while a building could possibly burn down upon them. That's why the news is so important, Kako. Because we have this colonizing news, Hawaiian American Kingdom news now, that wants to repost an American side of the story. Not even a live feed. Irresponsible news. But it only comes from American Cookies and Gummy Bears mindsets. And you only can get it on Cookies Corners at a certain time of day.
That's so annoying.
So, Hawaiian American Kingdom news, if you guys want to do a service to the Lahui, be there when the building is burning. Be there when the things are happening. Don't be lazy. Don't be petty and repost a rant from an American side of a story without even a live feed. With that being said, Kako, watch the film. Block out the commentary. Watch the actions.
Try to listen to the actual inmate.
Listen to the inmates.
The voice of the Kanaka in there.
The voice of maybe not even Kanaka.
Right.
But that's the type of heart we have to record.
Right.
Because our other Kia'i was threatened by an officer to tell him, stick his camera back down and step back.
Right.
That's why not our news now was up. Not Hawaiian Kingdom American news. Now it's us consistently putting together a piece of a puzzle that the government will never allow you to see. Our video was the only video that showed these two officers unload over 20 rounds of gas balls. Why is that?
Never even heard of that. Gas balls, huh?
Gas balls. And so that's why it's so important to be on the site, because we cannot have counter narratives like OHA trying to come on Saturday. Now we get Hawaiian Kingdom American News who tries to counter narrate our live feed being on the job site. With that being said, I'm smashing on all you colonizers and all you violators who continue to say Hawaiian Kingdom, but your name is on Kana'i Olavalu. Homework, do your work.
Woo. Damn, well, you gave us a lot to chew on with this topic, right? But again, I encourage everyone to look at the videos and try to, discern some of what was happening there. And as you could imagine, being live and on the scene is a different story. Now, I just want to back it up a little bit, right? Because this issue is not a new one.
It's not a new one.
Fires and riots at the old Hilo jail.
It's not old news.
And that's what we call it, old
news.
Hilo jail. Because you drive by, you can see how old that bugger is. The paint is chipping off. I don't know if it get lead, asbestos, whatnot, right? It's the old Hilo jail. That's not an understatement. And, a lot of people refer to it as the matchbox or the roach trap, right? The roach trap, because guys in there are packed in there, right? The facilities are really old and outdated, really bad. And as you know, Hilo gets a lot of, it clogs the system over there. There's a lot of clogs over there. So it's ripe for these kinds of outbreaks. Yes.
And it's been like you said, it had many times smaller fires, smaller issues, roof falling, construction breaking down.
3 years, October of 2017, there was a fire at the same place, right? A big fire.
And the community doesn't want to expand. And this is why the community doesn't feel space.
Where there's smoke, there's fire, guys. So, I mean, we can look at what the issue is right here, and we can say, okay, there was a contraband, and then the guys rioted and got upset, and it was a big scene. But there's a lot of issues wrapped into this. There's a lot of corruption that happens within these kinds of jail systems, right? Smuggling in and out, and it's an inside job, right? A lot of the time, these are inside jobs occurring, and our people are subjected to their behavior and then their patterns that they're locked up for. So again, I gotta just bring a little bit of clarity to the issue. This is not a new issue.
Not a new issue.
There's been fires at the old Hilo jail. These facilities are dilapidated. They should have been taken care of long ago. There should not be the roach trap over there with freaking Kanakas stacked on Kanakas on Kanakas. And I heard that was leading to some of the tensions, right? Was people don't have the 6 foot distance in their cells. So they're sleeping too close. And there's people coming from the streets, coming from America, coming from international countries, right? So the threat right now during COVID and all the spreads going on in MCC. And oh, by the way, the corruption with Ispinda, who's still not out of office until a couple more days. So
Ispinda has 2 riots on his hands.
Right. Feds continue the investigation in Hilo. We need to find out what really happened. We
Yes.
need to hear both sides of the stories.
Yes.
You know, mahalo to the ACOs who do the good job in there and who hold it down and who keep their workers and their
Yes.
peers accountable. The corrupt ones. Right?
Yes.
We know how hard that can be, especially when it's coming from higher ups. But that's what our job is. We have to blow the whistle. We have to stay pa'a. And you know, we'll see how this plays out.
Yes.
I gotta fan some more that kind, you know. I need tea leaf today.
And for our last to wrap it up during our COVID-19 update, we got yours truly. The whistleblower gets suspended. Kako.
A whistleblower.
So the whistleblower, this beautiful lady right here, who likely saved thousands, if not tens of thousands of lives,
Right.
by saying the simple truth, which seems to be nobody in OHA, nobody in the state government, legislation, they don't even have an honest pinky toe to stand on. And this is what we look at. We look at heroes not of color. We look at heroes of heart, of character, of ethics, one of morals. And this individual here should be praised. And we knew this was coming. We knew, right, Homework? We knew this was too good to be true. Yeah? That somebody from downstairs said, hey, you don't like the way the game is being played? Keep your mouth shut. But you know what? We honor this whistleblower. And with that being said, we're going to smash, because this is definitely coming down from the higher up orders. Yeah? Ige and the shit show cannot have an inside rat. I wouldn't even want to say a rat. An inside leak of such heinous crimes that could be possibly happening during a positive test, which running up to $1 million or more. That's some serious fraud. And that's why Kenji Price, you got to audit these bad boys.
Oof.
Homer. The whistleblower.
The shit show continues, right? So if we've been following some of these headlines, right, as we know, you know, the Department of Health, their officials, their department heads, right, Mr. Park, or what is it?
Mr. Anderson.
Mr. Anderson.
Mrs. Park.
And Mrs. Park, Calamai. I think, you know, Anderson Park over here, right? He's freaking
You can wrap those laus. You can just wrap those laus together.
Guys, entertaining, you know what I mean? But anyway, so we suspend the whistleblower, right? The person who says, hey, wait a minute, we need government oversight over this. The feds need to take a look at the millions being squandered to not protect our people, to leave us wide open to get cracked, which we getting cracked right now, right? And the department heads, do they get suspended? Do they get fired?
They get to take a break.
No, they get a retirement. They get a nice little retirement.
A poor retirement.
Right, well, a little package on the way out, maybe a severance package if there's any kind of like okie, right? But these guys already built up their little, you know, their little accounts. And so now they're about to collect, right? So we got to just take a look at the corruption of the state, right? Suspend the person showing you the problem and pretty much, you know, pamper the guys who stay continuing the corruption and the problem. So I got to smash the state of Hawaii.
And you're so right, man. These guys are down a path. They cannot come out, Kako. So don't jump on that fucking trail, man. Just don't jump on that train. When that train is leaving with Ayla, Ispinda, and all the places is burning down, the plantation is burning down. And if you guys not with the plan, I suggest you get a plan.
Don't get caught in
Don't
that
get caught in
cane
that
fire.
Don't get caught in that cane fire.
Cane fire.
And our last chopping block episode.
Flipping over the chopping
Flipping
block.
it over.
Okay, on clean side. What
We need the
get?
clean side.
What
And
we
the
got?
first one up, we have to go with our max out right now of Oahu being at
Oh, number of the day.
839,000 kako. So if you're not selling Hawaiians and if you're not selling Hawaiian lands, then obviously you can't live in Honolulu because I'm sorry it came out that way, homework. But you got to be selling the best product at the highest rate to get your best return, and that seems to be pimping out Hawaiians on Hawaiian lands.
Yep.
And with that being said, kako, this is out of control. This cannot sustain itself, Hawaii. Yeah? Ko'awa'i pai aina. How are we going to allow the legislation? Oh, sorry, Kakai Anderson left real quick. So yeah, you know, how can we put some more pressure on these corrupt legislations who are at the helm, right? They're at the helm. And this, if you guys don't believe in Ho'ailonas, right? This is your Ho'ailona. 839,000 pastele. You got enough for that? Kako?
Just for shelter, guys.
Just for sure. We never talk about
Just for
water.
shelter.
We never talk about your $7 milk.
We never talk about, right, the power drug.
Yeah, we never tell you about your Fridays fun days, right?
Oh,
We're
my
just
God.
talking about your daily
Shelter.
where you wake up 7 o'clock in the morning to work 12 hours to go sleep for 6. Kako. So with that
median family home.
that's
on
your
Oahu.
median family home.
Bruh.
So you gotta be a drug dealer down there if you're living even median.
Oh my gosh.
So you gotta be a politician to actually be living comfortable.
I never know Best Buy had money printing machines, bruh. When did the sale go on? 'Cause
Where
I
did
missed
this
it.
sale go
I
up?
missed it.
And while COVID is on lock and locking us down, you guys are in astronomical waters now. You guys are in astronomical waters, pimping out as many Hawaiians, right here, right now, live in Ko'awa'i pai aina.
Yep.
With that being said, I'm never gonna give this a pass, Kako. I'm never gonna give them a pass.
Expensive,
I'm never gonna ever respect.
Not collect 200 gold.
I'm never gonna respect anybody who's selling Hawaiian lands and Hawaiians for this fair market value.
Right.
Homework.
Wow, talk about fraudulence, right? The letter of the day, 839. Dang, you know, it just seems like every year is just exponentially going up higher and higher. But you know, I don't know who can afford the 839. You got to have some really elaborate loan, mortgage, scam, scheme, right? And you got to be preying on other people for
gotta be preying.
at
There you
least
go, you're
25,
preying.
30, 35 years. So you got to be in it to freaking really squeeze the shit out of somebody else if you getting squeezed like that. And this is the medium family home on Oahu.
This is the
right?
medium squeeze.
So,
this is a medium
it's not
squeeze.
even high end squeeze, not low end squeeze. It's right in the middle squeeze. This is the middle path, guys. You like walk the middle path. This is how much you're getting squeezed. You know, so I can't smash this any harder. I mean, shucks. Give me the point. Give me the kawila. Give them the kawila, cuz. Throw the kawila in there.
Everything gotta go to this on Kako.
That is a bad one. You know, I mean, all I can say is start collecting cardboards and cans, guys, because we cannot afford that. We need to get back to our kuleana and our aina. Yeah, and reset the value system here.
Reset.
Obviously, monopoly money isn't working here. It cannot protect us from the viruses, and it cannot get us one shelter, right?
Yeah.
Cannot put food on the table with 43% increase with Matson and on the shipments that gotta come in, right? So just wait for the squeeze, guys. Don't wait at home on your mortgage. Get out there, start planting.
No. Go buy bonds, but we'll get to that pretty sooner or
Get the
later.
bonds, no.
We'll get your bonds, right?
Bill bonds.
So next up. Chop them up.
Okay. Here
We
go.
got.
Warm me up.
Look at the doodle face. Look at the doodle face, Kangi. See the doodle face? This is what happens when you're on a chopping block. It's not a pleasant sight. When you have this facial look, it's called term limits.
That guy, he needs a shot.
A lot of people,
He needs some noni.
he needs some noni. Because a lot of people, when they hear this word term limit, kako, they okole, squeeze, so tight, can crack macadamia nuts. Yeah? An Asian one, if you're not Asian, this guy looked disappointed. He looked like he tachi too machi. And that's why we, as the rightful heirs to Ko Hawai'i Aina, not only if we don't participate in the fraud and the election like everybody says, right? Mai pu'ina, our job is to hold the va'a straight. Yeah? Remember, you can go out and play stupid games and win stupid prizes, but we will be home on the Aina protecting our kuleana. And like this being said, term limits.
That's all we can afford to do, guys.
Term limits. We have dinosaurs. Yeah. Kauchis. Yeah. All of these antidotes and long names of Asian dynasties stemming from the longest ever Asian Japanese ancestry governor, Ariyoshi. You see his family members lasting the atomic bombs of time within time. And they're still here.
Daniel Inouye. How long was he in, right?
With the one hand stealing everybody's things.
The remix. That's the broken record State of Hawaii playbook right there.
We have the longest acting dinosaurs
right.
in the history of this crisis acting Democratic Public Party. Yeah.
They get the hardware afterwards.
They get the hardware. These guys have been crisis acting since the time before time of these corrupt systems can even begin to understand the wealth of a medium home exceeding 839,000. Right. That's what we're talking about. These legislators, without limit terms, are allowed to maximize at the highest prices for these properties that Native Hawaiians own, live upon, and have been managing for many, many moons.
They're devaluing actually our properties.
And they're selling, they're taking our conservation districts, rezoning it to ag, rezoning it to residential, rezoning it to commercials. Right. Yeah, all through this conservation.
The web gets tangled.
And this is true. All your conservation activists out there, yeah? Right. You guys say save it. But you guys are the first to sell the resources. Yeah. You guys are the first to develop the property to what you think you like, right? Conservation. Oh, you're going to protect the water like you're the only water protector the world has ever known.
Conservation
agency.
Well, back to term limits too, right? So
that's what we're doing, term limits.
What a great idea. I can't believe they didn't figure this out sooner.
Past that.
Right? It's only now after all these long-time corrupt government officials are being exposed at a federal level, right? There's federal investigations cracking down. Now, oh crap, now we got to take term limits serious. Oh, now we got to do this, that, right? But for the past, at least 60 years, right, of the fake state, we're talking, right, in the past 127 years, and before that, right, into the bayonet constitution that was pointed at Kalakao's face, right, there's been corruption, deep-seated corruption and collaboration by
all the
foreign
agencies.
nationals, and Hawaiian traders, right? So don't be disillusioned by the headlines. Stick to what we really need to be doing, right? Term limits, bro, that's automatic, right?
It's automatic.
It cannot happen 20, 30 years after the fact. This is prosecutors. How many people's lives were affected by this kind of corruption? I gotta take a break.
That's it, homework. So next up, we gotta just move straight on over.
Let's go.
To Big Nose. No. Big Nose, Isla, and the DHHL, Department of Homeless Hawaiians, continuing to lease properties out to foreign nationals and other foreign corporations, and these guys think they're doing the best for the trust and its beneficiaries. Kenji Price, come on, Kenji. This guy's weird looking. He violates your federal constitution. Handle this cupcake. Little bit sugar on the top. I know he look kind of rough around the ihu, but sprinkle this guy. This guy's out of control. Mazagatani, yeah? All you guys is like a side order to this sashimi. You guys all gotta take vacation. You guys all continue to develop and not perpetuate the Kanaka on the land. You guys are a true insult. You guys are a true insult to what the prince left behind for us. You guys are exactly what we will tell our kids what not to be. Because you guys have continuously, not the crab in the bucket, you guys is the one that made the bucket and threw everybody onto the chop block for nothing. Because we all gotta leave one day. With that being said, Isla, you need to wake up. DHHL, you need to wake up. You guys have lost your sense of being. You guys have lost your mission in life. That doesn't mean take our kids and our kupuna down with you. Allow us to live and not pimp us out.
Stop pimping. That's it.
Homework. That's a smash for that.
Get heated for this one, right? You know, the pimping must end. And this is a clear example of how the DHHL and the heads of DHHL, which are put in place by the government of Hawaii, right? By the cat in the hat himself, right? They're put in place to cut deals with big multinational corporations for development. That's what they want to do. They want to develop our lands and benefit our lands.
While we die.
And pretend like they're helping our communities. Everyone, not just Hawaiians. Everybody gets a little bit of this. No, you guys are pimps, and you guys are corrupt, and you guys are drug dealers, and you guys are ruining our communities, right?
Yes.
So here we have the Department of Hawaiian Homelands, and they're trying to make a pivot towards renewable energy. We're going to make us some money, and we're going to give you guys a little bit of extra change with our renewable energy.
You're right.
Oh, really? You guys really going to do that? You guys can't even provide it right now, right? And then you take a look at the history, though. These guys are setting stuff up. They want the solar farms. They want the wind farms on Maui.
Yes.
Right? Like how they have in Kahuku. Right? They want to put one over
Organized
here
crime.
in Kauai High. They want to hit Kauai High with a couple wind farms, right? Meanwhile, there's still 44,000 on applicants on the list, right? There's still 29,000 on the waiting list. Kanakas and countless others undocumented, underserved, right? Unserved, right? So I gotta give a big smash to and a big collusion for the alphabet suits of the state, right? The cat in the hat trying to give itself some more deals for development in Hawaii. But again, I want to look back at the Mo'okuau here, Mo'okuau Hau a little bit here, right? We know for a fact these guys are sniffing up what?
Natural resource rapists.
We talked about it earlier. Kalekini was put in as the East Hawaii commissioner this year, right? They slid him in. Oh, why would they want Mike Kalekini, the head of Puna Geothermal Venture, to be the East Hawaii rep of the Department of Hawaiian Homelands, the Hawaiian Homes Commission Act, right? Why would they want the Hawaiian geothermal head to be on East Hawaii? Why would that? Now we saw some company cars driving up, right? Stonebridge, right, and a couple of other official looking European companies coming up there, right? And we did a little research on these guys, and the preliminary studies are already in. Don Thomas, UH, they did all the hydrology studies, right? Just a little while back. You look back to Kuhio Day back in 2014, right? Who was the AG at the time? What was his name? My favorite knucklehead. What's his name? Doug Chin, right? Doug Chin is the AG at the time, and he comes out with this great little piece, Hawaii on Kuhio Day. He says, Hawaiians own the mineral rights to geothermal on DHHL lands. Now, why, if there's no DHHL on Hawaiian homelands, why would you make that statement as the Attorney General in official opinion back in 2014 on Prince Kuhio Day?
Right.
Sounds like they're setting up a nice little red carpet for what they wanted to do here.
Well-
geothermal on Mauna Kea. Let's be real, guys. Let's look these guys in the eye and see what they
Well,
sperm.
the Department of Natural Land of Resource Rapists, right? You look at them. Isla is an avid fish collector that steals our shoreline in our conservation districts where it's not allowed as a chair or as a head DLNR branch. His right-hand man, a wool, right, gets busted for taking resources on DLNR time, doing their things out in Maui, stealing natural resources. And then now you see Isla at DHHL, right? So this is a pattern, Kako. It's really easy to spot. Just follow the big nose, yeah? The big nose tell everything. The ihu smell everything. And that's why you follow them, because they're never going to stay in the same spot. That's why there's a lot of government agencies who work for DLNR want to go to OHA, want to go to DHHL. They want to keep it in a family, but you know what?
They want to keep the deals going.
They want to keep the deals going.
the gravy train.
So we
running.
got to smash on this solar farm as any farm that doesn't farm Hawaiians on the land.
Yeah.
You cannot have
put
that.
one house with one solar panel on top. Now you talking. Now
We talking.
Every
Couple there you go.
every
Take off some of
solar
that.
panel
Take off
you
that solar
put,
panel and put them on
there
Keoka and
must be a
Paneava.
hale underneath with one Kanaka family living inside.
Let's put them on King's Landing
you want
first.
a
Let's put them on
solar
King's
farm,
Landing.
then we can do it like that.
Put
But
that on
again,
King's Landing right there
but,
first, so just
but
don't-
let's be real. These guys are going after bigger resources than just a solar farm or a couple of windmills too. These guys want the geothermal resource of Mauna Kea, right? 56,000 acres in the Aina Mauna region.
Kako.
Right, 56,000 acres. So over a fourth of the Hawaiian homeland inventory is up there, right? How many Hawaiian awards? Only one, Uncle Sonny?
Uncle Sonny?
Right? So only one ohana you serving? So who needs the power up on the mountain?
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna we're gonna funnel it back down to the communities. You sure you're not gonna send them up to the big energy suckers up on the top of the mountain? They need a lot of energy to run those telescopes. You know what else they need energy? Down the way towards Waikoloa, right? Down the mountain over there. So we see what you guys are up to, fake state of Hawaii. You guys want to develop our resources and disguise it as, oh, Hawaiian benefit, this, that, yada, yada.
And
Nope.
this-
You guys the gig is up. Like Uncle Abel says, the gig is up.
Is up. And we're closing this up is the best for last. We got for you, Kako. You know everybody was waiting for this. Pohaku Loa lease extension, Kako. Yes, yes, yes.
Oh, big topic here.
So this is the
PTA.
topic we put them in the back because why?
Oh, no.
Kako.
There's a lot to talk about, huh?
These issues of desecrating our Mauna Kea, our topic today is exposing the fraud. Hawaiian Kingdom American News now is funded by the desecration of Pohaku Loa.
Uh-oh.
The contract that Bryson B. La'akea Carvalho is on the extension lease while he's holding up his Aloha Aina sign and the place is being bombed. The Hawaiian Kingdom American News now has a penthouse building in sponsorship of the desecration of Pohaku Loa, Kako.
Oh, yeah.
So this hits a little bit to home because we were taken for the abuse of what was happening with us, and that's why we had to step away from what has been taking place at such a pivotal time, especially to ourselves and Pohaku Loa. And that's why you see what you see now. Na'au News now continuing to stand in solidarity to forever will not take federal funding. We will not take desecration money, and we will not take any bribery from any American or foreign policies that would come our way.
Ole mina mina.
Ole mina mina.
Kala.
We will never, and we honor, and we always support, and will never ever do that to the Lahui. And that is what we can promise you,
Never dupe you guys.
is that we will always bring you the live and upfront news of the perspective of what we see. We don't see everything, but our camera is our eyes for our community to review and come up with their own conclusion. And with that being said, go ahead and check out our new Facebook page with the Queen, Maipo Ina. That is our official Facebook and Instagram / website, The Dark Side of Hawaiian Politics. Because of the Hawaiian Kingdom American News has falsely tried to dupe the Lahui to believe that the 7 flags put up with Dark Side of Hawaiian Politics is us, which it isn't. It's led by these co-conspirators who are trying to defraud the Lahui and use our name to try and clout chase and mislead you folks to believe that the website that they put up is theirs. So kako, po'akuloa, hits too close for home. People are making substantial money in the continuous desecration.
This is just the tip of the iceberg, right? We're talking about how many like generations of military government contracts, right?
Yes.
Are ohanas or collaborators.
But then you gotta watch out, right? Homework, because they're quiet. They're on the side running
they're
Aloha
professional.
Aina.
They're professional.
They got hats on. They look just like me and you.
Professional. Check the website.
Check your website.
All the NGOs, all these different Native Hawaiian organizations taking military funds, got
Yes.
military contracts. You know a couple other names. the
You know
Robin
those
Danas
names.
and,
You guys gotta be maka'ala. We got violated during the time of COVID, where we didn't expect it. But we were opening our eyes to know that we will not be sold for a false representation of Aloha Aina.
Right, of course.
And that's where I have to smash
So-
with in collusion. For all you colonizers, Hawaiian Kingdom American News Now, selling the American cookies and gummy bears. And now you guys are selling bonds.
Dang.
Bonds to our kako. Don't ever buy bonds by the chubby bunnies, because those bonds are as good as bonds at 7-Elevens.
The fat
Only
cats.
5 pieces, and you can't have none. So don't buy bonds from people who selling fake insurance, who are telling you to do these things. Pohakuloa,
Right.
protect Pohakuloa, protect your ohana, and don't be devalued or pimped.
Do not be pimped. It's hard, man. Like, especially when you're getting squeezed, right, by these occupiers.
In many ways.
When they start dangling millions of dollars in front of your face, it can be very tempting to change your life, to be quiet and to, do things a little bit differently, discreetly. So anyway, I want to get back to the topic though, right?
Pohakuloa.
Army is seeking a lease extension for the state-owned lands up on Pohakuloa.
They don't own nothing.
They don't own any of these lands, even though they pay $1 for 65 years, which actually they never paid their $1 for their 65-year lease, right? But they want
$1 burger.
They want to renew this, right? They want another $1 burger for the next 65 years. Even though Auntie Max and Uncle Ku,
Uncle Ku,
their Supreme Court case, right, came down and said
smashing
the
them.
state has to malama aina. The DLNR has to clean up the mess and the negligence that has occurred at Pohakuloa specifically, right? But again, this lease is set to expire in what is it? 9 years, 8 years, 2029. Okay, so all of us, our community of Mokuo Kiave, we need to all get active on this one. This is a
Kako, rise up.
This is a kahea. We need to stop PTA from getting the lease extension. This is 36 square miles of our Aina, right? 4 or 5 times bigger than Koho'olawe.
Bigger.
Right? Which we still no more Kanaka living over there either.
But we get the nonprofits running.
But
them.
over here,
but
so going back
Kokuloa.
to the NGOs and the
Right.
military contracts and the status quo activism that just grinds away on our Aina while the bombs come every year, every 2 years. The shit show of the state of Hawaii continues. But we have to be on top of it, right? So they're soliciting input right now. What is your mana'o? We're going to do our EIS, Environmental Impact Statement. What does the community think about a new lease extension? Well, we need to all rise up.
Yes.
And if you're going to even participate in that, you better say a'ole loa. But we should actually be protesting on different levels
Yes.
to ensure that these guys don't get another sweetheart deal to bomb and desecrate our Aina.
So,
And make us targets for the whole
So
world.
be at the next meetings, the next halavai.
Yep.
Do your input. Put in a couple sentence. It doesn't take much.
Right.
As a native Hawaiian, I feel violated that these leases for a dollar burger are not gifted to native Hawaiians for the dollar burger. And that is simple as it can be for all these corruption people who continue to think the dollar burger is necessity to
and
life.
take notes of those token Hawaiian organizations,
NGOs,
right?
OHAs,
Different players, nonprofits, community organizations,
LLCs.
They're participating to a certain extent so they can get the funds. Even if they say, "Oh, Aole, I don't think that's a good idea," they still getting paid. They still on the dole, so
Yeah.
they pay to play and to participate and to consent to the process, right? So be very careful, guys. Write notes.
Yes.
Take your whistle. Bring your whistle around. And tag na all news now. We gotta expose these guys. Mai poina.
Smash Mai Poina. Okay, Kako, there you have it for this week's.
That's it. That's a clean chop, baby.
So this clean week, smash, pass, chopping block. Now we come up to our constitutional oath breaker of the week, Kako.
Oh, are we going
So
Hawaiian constitutional oath breaker, or are we going fake staters?
for me,
Okay.
I see a lau today.
Get loud, wrapped in platinum.
It's called Mai Poina, right? And Mai Poina said to remember, never forget, right? And that means you can never forget about our Kumu Kanawai.
Right.
And so our Kumu Kanawai today for my oath breaker is the counter-programming directors who continue to profit, Bryson Bila Akea, to profit over the desecration of Pohaku law, and wearing the Aloha Aina hat is a pivotal epitome of a constitutional oath breaker. And for the Oha candidate, Kala Akea, Kala Akini, and Kale Bon Guma Pax with the cookie corner. You guys are out of control with selling bonds to our lahui in a time when there is no funding for such a scheme. That's my constitutional oath breaker of the week, because nobody can sell bonds but Kamehameha Kapalama. Oh, sorry. I mean,
On
Kale
that
Guma
note,
Pax.
I wanna keep it on that note on the media manipulators, right? We gotta smash
On OHA?
the media manipulators, the chiefs of propaganda, right? Because this goes back to like World War II and all the crazy propaganda during the Nazi rise. But now you got the neo-Nazis, and you got the neo-colonizers, and you got the token Hawaiians, and you got the
Token
shucking and jivers, right? And there's so much fake news everywhere, right? But the fake news factory been pumping it out since freaking 127 years ago, at the very least, right? But look to the heads of these media companies. Question their ethics. Question who's paying them. Where do their funding sources come from? Where are their political maneuverings happening? Blangiardi on Hawaii News now, right? All of these guys, though, you look at the American level too. That's the fight that's going on right now. It's in the media, guys. You're going one side versus the other news, right? Fox News versus this news, and
counter-program,
right side to the left side.
You guys got
Fake
our
news versus
constitutional
pedophiles, right?
Right.
Like, it's all a shit show right now, guys. So nana ike kumu, look to our source, look to our ohana, take care of our ohana.
Yes.
And keep blowing the whistle, guys. Keep kani kapu. We gotta round up everybody to stop this corruption and protect our aina.
And that's
more than ever.
And not only now more than ever is just like what you say, right? The counter narrative to what is productive out in our community.
Right.
We need people to be live.
As soon as your voice starts to get big enough, right, you're gonna notice, these organizations want to do a similar show. They want to talk a similar way. They want to do a new spin-off, right? Like how some of these alphabet supers were counter-programming the Darkside of Hawaiian politics early on as well, doing their Saturday.
OHA wants to get in on their time with us.
So anyway, flattery. There's some flattery in being copied, and but at the end of the day, we don't want our people being exposed to fraudulence and corruption.
Yes,
and
we don't want nobody getting
hurt
hurt with the false narratives. We don't want that to happen. So Kako, do your homework. Keep us connected. That's what you guys have been able to do, is keep us focused,
Let's
and that's
go.
what we promised to do. To wrap it up, we got our... How come these bad boys now? You ready for a rapid aloha this week?
About to take a bite of this noni over here. I'm ready.
We would like to give the much mahalo to Brada, always banging on Hawaiian homelands. Bite the Eye. Bite the Eye always fulfills his obligation to keep us alive while we do our live feeds, our I'a.
You don't got
Walla.
that gas that the stores like to sell you from the Philippines, right? While all our good stuff getting shipped out. This is real Hawaiian fish, baby. Served to you from real Kanaka.
To you, my love, I'a.
Yes.
Mahalo, and I'll see you soon. Who we got?
Yeah, I think they serving up today, 10:30, right?
10:30 today.
My rapid aloha today. A shout out to the Kingdom crew.
The Kingdom
the
crew.
Crownland crew. Yeah, and all of the Kanaka out there doing the work in the field, doing the work in the lo'i.
Yes.
The fish ponds, keeping the camera rolling, making sure the pohakus is getting desecrated, right? Making sure the government contracts is being monitored, right? And all the media manipulators are being checked.
Yes.
'Cause that's all we see right now is a lot of machinations in media.
And we'd like to send out a mahalo once
I
again.
see you, I see you.
Mano Kalanipo, we see you. To the Mana Wahine, holding down with the Leo.
Yeah.
To the Mana Cause,
We have
holding
some-
it down with the presence.
Yep.
We see you. Continue conduct your surveillance, your observation,
There's
and
some-
most of all, keep that kapu strong out there.
Yeah, we got some court cases coming up too. We'll be monitoring in the case against Hawaiian nationals. So we'll do some in-depth investigative reporting on some of those issues coming from the other islands as well. And again, just a kahia to all you guys out there. Tag us in, link us in, blow the whistle, kani kapu. We'll be there. We got you.
Yes. Hey, everybody, continue to do what you do and be safe out there, man, in the kingdom.
So, there it is. Love you guys. Kanaka, come home. They cannot see, bro. You're throwing rubbish. They can't even see them. Hey, but even when you don't see them, you feel them,
Oh,
right?
look at that.
You feel them.
Over 100.